two souls meet. Ooh, I love that. Shimmy, shimmy. Shimmy, shimmy. Shimmy, shimmy. Shimmy, shimmy.
You know that, that's why you know Shimmy, Jimmy?
No, I don't know where that's from. Where is that from?
Blended. You know the movie Blended
Blended.
with Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler?
No, the first thing that comes to mind when I think of those two, it's the 50 First Dates.
Not The Wedding Singer?
No. Which one is The Wedding Singer?
Excuse her.
Also, all of these movies I watched in Spanish in Venezuela in TNT, for the ones who can understand what I'm saying.
TNT.
And it's like, oh yeah.
If you need the translation.
Yeah. And so I feel they always had like these random titles that have like, now that you learn English, you realize that has nothing to do with the actual
No,
one.
I know. No.
And Spain is even worse. Spain like creates even
their
way
own
weirder titles.
No, The Wedding Singer was their first film together.
Okay. Well, what happens in it?
The Wedding Singer is like Drew Barrymore is getting married and Adam Sandler is a wedding singer. And he gets hired to... Oh my God.
I don't think I have. Let's have a night of like
Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore. Yeah, because you haven't even watched Blended. That's
maybe next Friday.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, we're planning a slumber party.
A sleepover.
Yeah. Okay.
We're back.
We are back.
No, I'm sorry. I made a banana oat peanut butter
and guys,
milk smoothie.
It's really good.
So don't mind.
It's actually really good. You have to give me the. I think this is hitting. Okay, you have to give me the recipe.
I will never.
Why?
It dies with me.
I love that the real you comes out sometimes in this video, and people can know how mean you are to me.
There's all kinds of shades to me. Deal with it. Anyway, guys, we're back with 2 stories.
Can you? This is how. How do you know that? That's what I meant to say, guys. No.
Blink twice. Do you want to go first, or should I go first?
I can go first.
Fine.
I am feeling like going
I can
first.
My smoothie then,
because you will probably win piedra papel o tijera, and then rock paper scissors, and then you'll go first in the answers. Lately,
fair.
Oh, this is a long one. Okay.
Oh my God. And details. We like details.
We like details though. Actually, details really help us understand what's going on and what's happening.
Yes.
So
let's see.
Let's go right into it.
Yes.
Okay. Am I in the wrong if I want to kick my brother out of my house? Hi, everyone. I, 27 female, live with my parents and my younger brother. Okay, that was misleading. 25 male. Since graduating high school, my brother hasn't been able to keep a job for more than a year. He lives rent-free and my parents cover all his expenses, including his car and insurance. I've always been frustrated with how much they baby him. Things got worse when my dad lost his job after a serious accident that caused him to lose an eye.
Oh my God.
I'm so sorry. Since then, I've been covering almost all of the household expenses. Oh, I told my brother that if he wanted to live under my roof, he had to start paying rent.
So she took over the house.
Yeah. He agreed, but only managed 2 months worth after constant reminders. Then he quit his job and stopped paying rent altogether. We had an agreement. If he couldn't pay rent consistently, he would have to either join the military or move out.
What?
Back in March, he told me he was working with a Navy recruiter and just needed time to detox from marijuana. I gave him until the end of June to show me a signed military contract. But earlier this month, he told me he's no longer enlisting. Instead, he promised to pay rent again and back pay what he owes. At that point, I'd had enough. I told him he needed to move out by the end of June. I was firm and clear. I don't want him living with me anymore. I love him, but he needs to grow up and take responsibility for his life. Now, my parents are upset with me. They say I'm being heartless, that he won't survive on his own. My mom even said if something happened to him, she wouldn't want to live. I love my mom deeply, but when she says things like that, it feels incredibly manipulative and guilt-inducing. She says we're a small family and we need to stick together. But I feel stuck. I'd move out if I could. Ahem. But I'm worried about leaving my parents behind in this mess.
Thank you for giving us another perspective there.
My brother also complained that I charged him too much for rent, but I only asked for what the local market would charge for a room, nothing more. Every time I bring up my concerns, my parents say they'll talk to him, but nothing changes, and I'm left feeling drained, unsupported, and angry in my own home. I hate that it's come to this, but honestly, I don't want him near me anymore. I don't want to fight, but I am ready to stand my ground. This situation is wrecking my mental health, and I just need to hear from people who don't know me. Am I in the wrong for finally kicking him out?
Oh, wow.
I don't think we've ever heard a story so layered. There's so many layers. Like, you just go from like, oh, uh, well, uh, oh,
Wow. Okay. Ready?
ready. I don't know if I'm ready.
I don't know. Yeah, but okay. We'll see.
Okay. Piedra, papel o tijera. 1, 2, 3. Ah, we broke it, people. We broke it, Team Adriana.
No one's gonna be Team Adriana when you've been losing.
But I just won.
Thank God I gave you that.
You see, people? You see what I have to deal with? Okay. Out of all the stories, I don't know what to say on this one. Are you in the wrong? I'm going to say yes for one thing and one thing only. And I could be wrong. Is this your house? Because I'm like,
that was my take.
The first thing I know, the first thing you said is I live with my parents, my brother, and me. And you also said I would move out. So the way that I saw this story is like, this is not your house per se. I don't know if like
it's not her house.
It's not her house
because she said I would move out.
I would move out. Also, this could be like a rental for everybody. That could be two. But like, that's why I'm like, but in any case, this sounds like this is your family home. You guys grew. You're still living in the house, and different rules have been intended for each one of you in different ways, which I've seen this dynamic before in people that I know, which like the kids kind of like grew into adults, and one of the children was like asked in for more, and not that's not the word that I'm looking for. The word that I'm looking for is like expected. Not even expected. ¿Cómo se dice eso?
Okay.
Demanded.
Oh, okay.
It was demanded of them more financially and in many other ways than the other person, right? The other child. But I'm gonna say you're in the wrong just because for me, you're taking on this responsibility of parenting your brother and parenting people around you. And I understand like your dad lost an eye and that's why you had to like kind of like jump in and help. It's also very interesting to me that all of these things happened when you already sounded like a very responsible person, a very like a lot of the responsibility in the house fell on you, and you were already feeling this way and you were already feeling frustrated, and then something happened to your father in which like you're completely the person that they rely on. So this sounds like a usual older sister syndrome problem that honestly usually it's not. I don't think it's your fault. I think it usually comes from like the way that you're being raised and also how unfair it is that they don't expect the same thing or demand the same thing from the brother. Like he's 25, like you need to start.
He's old enough.
He's old enough, and obviously your mom thinking that he's not going to survive. Like I think there are too many aspects in this dynamic in this household. Too many people trying to determine what the other person is capable or not capable of doing. You even demanding of your brother to go in the military. Like, is this something that is this your idea? Like, why is it? Again, like I think you are the one choosing to step into this role in deciding things when I think you should move out. I know it's not easy to say, and you might not be able to do it like you said, but I think that should be your north. Your north should be to find your own space, your own place, and wait until you have your own family to make these decisions. But it really sounds like you are the one parenting this. Again, I'm not judging you at all. I think this is usually a result of a full year of you having to be the responsible person. But my love, you like the by the story that I read that you're putting in there, you're the one who has to put some boundaries, not only to the other people, but to yourself. You don't need to be the one having to deal with all of this. Like you, like, I don't know, like I know, like he's living there. You can't do anything. You can't kick him out. Like, how are you even in the position of kicking somebody out if
Yeah.
this is your family's home? Again,
Yeah.
I can see that it's not this easy, and I think it's very complex, and it has a lot of maybe details that we don't know, like logistics that we don't know as to why you feel like, because you said it's my parents, like I live with them, but you said a couple times it's my house, my house, my house, but then you would move out. So those are logistics that obviously are important in a story like this, but overall I think you need to take a deep breath, like I need it right now. You need to take a deep breath and really try and maybe talk to somebody who can help you understand how you are, in my view, stepping into roles that you are not serving you. You said it yourself, mental health. Like, I really, really, really hope you find a way to get out of this dynamic, because yes, your parents enable your brother, and they also allow you to be in this situation. Like, you shouldn't have to be put in this situation regardless. So I think you need to step out from this and find your own way of being just the old sister. Sorry, that was a little bit long, but again, it's so layered.
Yeah. I love the details.
Yeah.
I do, because it gives us a very clear picture, and this is very complex. Um I agree. I think you're in the wrong only because this is not your home and you are making the choice to stay. I have to give another perspective.
Ha! Now it's your turn.
My turn. Okay, so you are not in the wrong. I can understand from what you're saying. We're hearing only your perspective. So, from what you're saying, it sounds like your brother is not a very mature and responsible person, which is why I understand you wanting to stay at home and taking on the responsibilities, especially after your dad got into a very bad accident and lost his eye. I'm sure cannot work anymore. Somebody has to take on that role. Somebody has to be financially responsible for the family. And it sounds like it does need to be you. Um, Mind you, the dynamic in your family, your brother is younger and he's male. um sounds like he's been babied all his life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, I feel like there was no choice given to you. You probably had to step on to take over this role, or nobody else would. um so I can understand why you're choosing to stay. You're choosing to tell your brother, move out, this is not working, because probably if you were to move out, then you would have to be financially responsible for yourself and your new home, and still for your parents, from the sounds of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I can understand why you're telling your brother that he needs to be the one to move out. I also understand that you gave him some options. I don't understand where this whole military thing came
Came
from,
from.
and if this is a talk that's been had before. I don't know if he's had some sort of behavioral issues in the past where your parents and yourself and him maybe agreed that that would be the way for him, and this got brought up now. I'm not sure where that came from. But let's make the assumption that it was that, and that in the past he's gotten into some trouble or something, and this was a career path for him. You did give him an option, and he sounds like he was in talks to making that decision, going towards that career path, and then for some reason did not. And now has chosen to stay, and he's telling you, I'm going to pay some rent. I can understand when someone's had enough.
She's had enough.
She's had enough. And your brother's 25 years old. I think by now, if he had the maturity and mental capacity to take on this kind of responsibility, he would have shown it. Doesn't sound like he's shown it. So I can understand why you've reached your boiling point and you've said, okay, that's enough. You need to move out. I gave you that option. You chose not to go that route. You're not going to take on this responsibility like you say you are. You need to move out. So I can understand your frustration. I can understand where in your point of view, it's like, if it's not me, it's not going to be anybody else. So I have to say you have to go. But at the same time, it doesn't sound like this is a decision your parents are coming up with. It's only yours. It sounds like this is their home, not yours. So I feel like at the end of the day, you moving out might be the best choice, not only for your own mental health, but also to teach your brother some responsibility and show your parents that there needs to be a change in dynamic in this family.
Mm-hmm.
Because it does sound like they're still very much babying your brother and putting all the responsibility on you when it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. That's not fair.
That's not fair.
So I think you moving out is the best choice for everyone, best decision for everyone in the family. And trust me, people will find their way.
Yeah, they have to. They will. Especially if they're in a position that they have to. Like, there's nothing else that they can do.
Yeah.
And there probably is a lot of, like, there is like a mental health situation with your brother.
It sounds like it.
It sounds like if he can't keep a job and you know, like, he needs to be pushed to provide for himself. I feel like a person past a certain age, if they need to be pushed in order for them to actually try to look for ways of supporting themselves, I think there has to be some sort of
very dependent
and some sort of like mental health situation there that maybe we're not seeing. But in the big scheme of things, it just feels like you're just being put in that position, right?
Position. And well, she's also making the choice.
And I know it must sound, if you're listening to us, it must sound, or anybody who can relate to a story like this, because I feel like the whole older sister situation happens more than we believe. And I know for you guys must be like, oh, I cannot do this. You know how they will figure it out.
People find
you first
their way. People find
their way. You first, and your parents also. They're not. It doesn't sound like they're even providing any solutions to the situation. They're just like judging you because you want to kick him out, and they don't want you to kick him out, but they're also not. It doesn't sound like they're also trying to.
No.
You know, and they're also going to. Oh my gosh, a lot.
It's a lot, but I think that's the best choice for you, honestly. All right.
Okay, next story.
Am I in the wrong for moving into a studio apartment away from my mother-in-law who moved in? Another long story.
Whoa. Oh my god.
Okay. Long story short.
I love that. You're one of my you're Team Adriana.
We try here. My boyfriend's mom is poor and had to move into my boyfriend and I's apartment last month because my boyfriend's brother, who lived with her, got them both evicted. He stole her car and wrecked it into their apartment and almost killed someone. He's currently in rehab, and before she moved in, I sat down with my boyfriend and laid out the requirements of her living here. Wow. Very good. She must cut off contact with this brother for his own good and never invite him over, as I'm afraid of him retaliating at our apartment and getting us evicted too. And she should stop enabling him with a constant safety net to continue his drug use. I know that sounds harsh, but it was the only way to actually force him to get help. This has been an almost decade-long battle of her enabling him, and he's not getting any better. My boyfriend agreed to this, and she agreed. Cut to 2 weeks in, I come home from work. My boyfriend and her are laughing about how they took his brother to Golden Coral when I was gone and he was so high, he was nodding off in their food. I was so upset that not only did she break the cardinal rule that I set for her, but that my boyfriend went along with it and did it too. I told him I felt betrayed and that he just set a precedent to her that she can do whatever she wants now because any rule set isn't actually going to be enforced, clearly by his example. He told me he did it because he thought it was too harsh after the fact without telling me, and he had changed his mind and thereby going against our agreement. I otherwise wouldn't have let her live here rent free. My boyfriend said putting her on the street was too harsh of a punishment for breaking the rules. But isn't that the point? Now she's telling us we need to do her chores when we pay the rent because she doesn't want to do them, knowing he won't enforce or kick her out because he ultimately can't face the guilt of doing so. He has attachment issues with her and it's a heavy guilt complex. Our apartment lease is up in a couple of months, and now that we're moving, she asked us where we are moving to, fully expecting a free ride and free rent at our next place. I was so dumbfounded because she's only supposed to be here until she got housing, but low income housing waiting lists can be months to years long. I don't want to live with her anymore because she walks all over us and causes tension between my boyfriend and I. He will never put her on the street because he's controlled by his guilt. When I asked what he plans to do, he said he isn't taking her out to our next place, but that would ultimately leave her on the street, and I know deep down, even if we initially move without her, she will be back in a week or two because he'll feel guilty. I want to move into a studio apartment now, knowing that I don't believe he's going to let her go. And I've voiced this as a real possibility to him. But I'm being framed as trying to dismantle our relationship. Am I in the wrong?
Oh my gosh.
Is there really another perspective here?
We're clear, right? She's not.
Yeah, there's no way.
Okay.
There's no
I
way.
do have something that I would like to say to her if I have to do another perspective.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it's not another perspective. Piedra, papel o tijera. Un, dos, tres. Okay. Go first.
Well, we both agree, but no, you were not in the
Oh
wrong.
my mom.
No, you were not in the wrong. Oh my God, I feel so bad for this poor girl because I want to applaud you on setting boundaries straight away.
From the get-go.
From the get-go. And honestly, your two rules, demands, whatever, are not even a big deal.
No.
They're not a big deal. I think you compromised. You were very understanding. You were very clear on what you needed. And you're not in the wrong for now not wanting her. Well, I think the question was, because she started with one question and ended with another.
That's why I'm like, it's interesting to me that her question was like, am I in the wrong for her moving out?
Yeah.
Which is like, that's the least problematic thing in the whole thing. And I think it's because the boyfriend is saying, you're trying to dismantle our relationship. That's why she feels like, oh, I might be in the wrong for doing this. But
no, you are not in the wrong. There's a lot of problems in that family. A lot of problems. And it's very unfair. It sounds like, again, siblings taking on responsibilities in this episode. But
this was a topic,
yeah,
a theme.
Yeah, I kind of like when that happens.
Yeah.
It sounds like, I don't know if he's an older brother or the younger brother, but to me it sounds like he's an older brother and the one who uses drugs is the younger one. Sounds like he's had to take on the responsibility of being the mature, good son, the one that the mom can go to and rely on and trust. And now we're in this position where, because he holds on to that role, he feels responsibility, probably on making sure that the mom is happy, feels safe, feels proud of one of her sons. I don't know. It's a very complex situation and I don't know the details of it, but from me, that's what it sounds like. And that's where possibly his guilt might stem from. that now he feels the need and the responsibility to take care of his mom because there's a brother involved that hasn't done so well and has made a lot of mistakes. It is not your responsibility, talking to the boyfriend, it's not your responsibility to take care of your mom. Your mom doesn't sound like she has any sort of disability, anything that's preventing her from working and from having her own place. I understand what happened to cause her to lose her home was not her fault and it came very suddenly. So she might, yes, need a place to stay for the meantime. But it very much sounds like she's taking advantage of the situation. She's living rent free, and on top of that, not helping with any chores or anything in the house because she knows that her son will not do anything about it. I feel so bad for you.
I know.
I feel so bad for you because this is not a fair situation. Again, I repeat, I applaud you for the way you handle the situation, and I don't think that you're in the wrong at all for wanting, not, I wouldn't say teach her a lesson, but being firm in your boundaries and your rules in your home and saying, if you're not going to follow my rules, I'm sorry, but you have to go.
Because this is your house. You see the difference? This is
your house.
This is your house.
This is your house. And I don't know how you're going to handle that situation with your brother because the problem with your boyfriend, because the problem here at the end is with your boyfriend. You guys need to be on the same page, especially when you're but it's part of you're not in the wrong.
No, actually.
Fine, I'll leave that for her. Poor girl. She needs something.
I need something.
I'll leave that. But yeah, I don't think you're in the wrong, my love. I think that you have all the right in the world to enforce your you're right in this.
You're right, because this is her house.
This is your home. And this is not easy. I am so angry for you that your boyfriend has broken something that you both agreed to do, and he changed his mind without talking to you about it. And on top of that, went to lunch with his brother, and now he's at home with his mother laughing about it. How high his brother was.
Yes.
He's also enabling
this
behavior. I should stop talking now.
That's my take. You're taking my take.
I should stop talking.
The reason that's my take, it's because that I think, not that she's in the wrong, but I'm saying I think that's where she's seeing it the wrong way.
Okay.
She keeps focusing on the mom, which I know she's the problem. To me, it's your boyfriend.
Oh, it is the boyfriend.
That's why that's my take. Because I'm like, yeah, you're not in the wrong for doing all this, but you are wrong on trying to keep seeing this problem as she is the problem because she broke this. And I know you mentioned your boyfriend a couple times, but I feel like I'm missing the deep understanding of how wrong your boyfriend did to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're here questioning if you are doing wrong by moving to another place because your boyfriend is telling you you're trying to dismantle a relationship. And it's like, he did you wrong, my love.
Yeah.
Very wrong. Those rules are there for a reason. You guys talked about it. Also, like, they didn't even try to hide it. Like, I'm not saying hide it, but I'm saying, like, it was just so, like, we don't care what you think.
Yeah, the
audacity. That's why for me, I'm like, that's my date, because I'm like, move. Leave. Why do I think you would be in the wrong for trying to stay in a relationship even with this person who just did this? Again, I know that's very, like, far and bold of me to tell you to break up with your boyfriend. I'm not telling you that, but I am saying this is a moment to definitely not redefine, but readjust, like really think about, reflect on what it means to you to have a relationship, a serious relationship with somebody. Because if this is what he just did, like, this is too much of breaking too much of my trust.
Yes.
Why am I even like, yes, I'm moving out because this is it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's not even a question or a conversation about like, oh, you're am I being nice or not to the mom, blah blah blah. And like, oh, and I feel like you kept saying in the story, like, oh, it's because she has him under her control, like, because he is
Because
like
he feels guilty.
just feel guilty, and you're babying him. This is the moment for you to say what you did is wrong. It's not okay, and I'm not
putting up with it.
Yeah, it's
I'm not dealing with it.
It's not about breaking your relationship with your mother. It's not even about breaking a relationship. Like, I am the cause of this. You were the cause because you broke my trust in something so difficult and so delicate.
This
like
is
your
very
brother,
delicate.
you
Yeah.
went for lunch with somebody who almost killed some. And I'm not saying, again, like, if he wants to forgive his brother and go out for, okay, but you guys are living together. Yeah, doesn't sound like you're married. I don't know if that matters to you, but you do have some sort of, like, you have a family together in a way. You've created this family. You make these choices, these decisions together, and he broke it completely. So I'm not saying you're in the wrong, but I am saying you're maybe possibly looking at it from just one perspective, because you really don't want to look at the real problem.
Yeah.
The mother-in-law is the problem. It's a
on
problem on her own. But I think you're focusing so much on the mother to protect yourself from realizing that your boyfriend is a huge aspect to this problem you're in right now.
Yes, exactly.
That's my take.
That's good. That's good take.
That's good.
No, it's good because it's true.
It's true. And
at the end of the day here, whatever the mother wants to do, that's her choice. If she wants to keep communication with the son that's in rehab, that's her choice. It's about respecting your boundaries in your home. And you're not looking at the right person here. Your boyfriend is very much like his mom.
Yeah, yeah.
And so you need to look at that.
You need to look at that. You
because
need to look
that's you guys have a partnership. That's who you are committing to. That's who you're building a future with. If this is not something that you agree with or like,
and it's fundamental, like, if it's transgressive, is that a word?
Transgressing, yeah.
If it's transgressing your values, that's something my therapist said once. It's very important to look at problems as, is this transgressing my values? And I think it is. Like, it's really
100% it is. She said that
from the
get-go, that boundary from the get-go.
For a reason.
Exactly. So I think it definitely is. So you have some reflecting
yeah,
and some choices to make here.
But good for you for putting those boundaries.
Communicate.
Right,
she communicated.
She communicated from the get-go. And you see, then you have either the person who's going to accept them and value them, or the person who's going to be like, I don't respect them. So, and either they'll say, oh, no, or they'll say yes, and then when it comes to the actual thing, they just won't care.
And either way, you're learning who you're with. So
who you're with.
Well, thank you for joining us.
We'll see you guys next week in another episode of Soul Meet.
Bye.